Next thing I knew, I woke up and there was a turkey in the living room.
That's a Thanksgiving.
It must have been a pretty wild Black Friday, but, speaking of, next Friday, our Black Friday sale goes live, the only sale of the year.
The only one.
I used to wait for that sale, $11.59, waiting for it to flip.
I never bought anything from ZZP on Black Friday because I was so close. I would just drive down here.
Yeah,
I
loved it. I'd always set aside like a certain amount of funds, and even if I didn't need anything, I'd make it a point to try and at least spend all of it.
Yep.
I mean, it's
Get
kind
them
of
deals.
It's kind of a pain, but it's really worth the hassle.
Mm-hmm.
Because, it's like we have these things that go on sale for like X% off for this time only.
Mm-hmm.
Like it's, we make it kind of difficult, but like it is so worth the work. So worth the work.
You're not wrong. But anyway, thanks for joining us. We are ZZP Power Hour number 139 today. Almost at the big 140. Not that that means anything. But today we are talking about used cars.
Yep.
And the general state of the market, how it used to be, how it is today. We'll wrap about some things. And then at the end of today's episode, we have 3 rides that we're going to rate. So stick around for those if you want, guys. Nice to see some familiar faces. We got Sebastian Morrison. We got Bill Kish. We got Arcane. We got Dan North. We got
Mr. Brad Keys.
Yeah, Brad Keys. We got Jeff Gordon. Man, we got everybody up in here today.
Gang's all here.
Gang is all here.
Yeah,
How
we were
much for
coming up
Tyler?
here, and the mechanics were asking me, "What's the podcast today?" I was like, "Used car market in its current state," and they used a single word that rhymed with duct.
Yeah.
And started with an F.
It certainly did.
So, obviously it's been on my mind lately. But one thing that I wanted to bring up was how it started off with eBay Motors back in the day. They were the first to offer an auction site where you could buy a car. And I remember early eBay Motors, that was such an insane idea to purchase a car from across the country online.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And like how weird that was. And now it's very regular. But what really had me thinking was, say you're on Marketplace. You're looking up whatever car you want to buy. You show up and you're talking to the guy and then you're trying to bring him down. You're like, well, what about this and this? And, you're always working to get that price down.
Mm-hmm.
But then on those auction sites, it's all about bringing the price up.
Yep.
And now they're usually nicer examples than you might find just out on the market. But, it's such a vast difference than going in person.
Yeah.
Because, well, first off, they think it's nice enough to be able to auction it.
Yeah.
But then other people are finally in the ring and they are fighting with you. And so, you're like, this is a good $5,500 car. And then the next thing you know, it's $6,400.
Yep.
See, you gotta be a gambling man.
Yeah, you do.
You got to, because
Yeah.
I've purchased a few vehicles sight unseen, and it's like, man, the first one I bought was my 2003 BMW 330i.
Okay.
It was a performance package ZHP car, so it was like
Ooh,
a
yeah,
special
ZHP.
model.
Nice.
And I bought it from Florida, sight unseen,
Mhm.
just basically seeing the ad and paying, not even going there and driving it home or anything. I had it shipped to me.
Okay.
And I got it, and it was a great car, one
Yeah.
of the best cars I've ever owned. The only thing I found was that the trunk plastic didn't quite fit right. And after doing some research, it got hit in the back end. But so there was a thing
Yeah.
attached to it, but that was it. Car drove great. Like, it blew my mind. Loved it. Like, it was my first European car, and that's
Was that
kind
a
of
6-cylinder?
Yep.
In the 330?
inline six.
Didn't have
with
any
the,
Vanos issues?
What?
No Vanos
No,
issues?
of course. I don't know. People, there are so many vehicles that people talk so much crap about their reliability online, and it floors me. Like Vanos, it's fine.
Yeah.
I've owned many BMWs and never had a Vanos
I
problem.
know it was fine. I just like to hear you.
You know,
I know what
it's just-
Vanos is.
It's,
I have heard of an oil pump failure causing Vanos systems to fail, and it's like no warning.
okay.
Well, that's like, isn't the V10 cars, they
Okay.
have like bearing issues and stuff, but like,
Well,
Immediate
they-
timing
Yeah,
stuff.
the M5s do have some bearing issues. I've known a couple people to have them, and theirs didn't fail.
Mhm.
So I don't know. That might be another one of those stories. I know the SMG tranny, the fancy tranny pump fails, and that's an expensive failure.
Yep.
But and people can spend $10,000 to fix that.
Yeah.
But like you can't just go to your local BMW dealership and be like, fix my car. Like you got to do some research.
Yep.
Yep.
You got to find the guy.
Yeah.
Like one cool thing about you bringing up the bearings, one of the world famous guys for building the V10 was here in Michigan.
Oh, that's cool.
Like he was the guy
Wow.
that did the short block assembly of that V10 engine when you were doing like a rebuild.
Yeah.
I think he moved away now, like
Yeah.
as in the last 4 years or something like that. But he was here in like Grand Rapids.
Huh.
So that was kind of neat.
I think
But
there's
I didn't
a lot of reputable automotive companies around Michigan area.
There really is.
Oh yeah.
Like Michigan really is a great place. I mean, yes, we deal with some cold. Yes, we get some snow. But like this place really is growing. Like Grand Rapids is a great place to be.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Agreed.
Well, speaking of buying used cars, I recently purchased one that was my Encore was like my just random. I'm gonna buy this winter car, and I was cleaning the car and found the sticker for the car, the window sticker.
Oh really?
Oh, nice.
Goodness.
Nice.
People were paying $31,000 for
They were
Encores
cool.
when they
They
first
were
came
nice.
out,
Dude,
and I was like,
yours-
"What the?"
Yours is nice, man. You got like the premier, like
Yeah, it's got all the nice things that like
Oh,
that
yeah.
car had, but I was kind of like hard no on spending $5,000 on the car. and
Now it's
and
10 years later.
yeah, it was like I think the sticker was like 31,900 something, and I was like, oh,
I remember when you were looking at him, you were like looking at a couple Traxxas, and I'm like, Randy, just buy the Buick.
yeah.
Yep.
Buy the Buick.
Well, I was on
nice
the
old man
fence.
features.
I was on the fence until I saw that heated steering wheel and stuff, and I was like, well, I'm gonna buy that now.
And you're in Michigan now.
And now I'm in Michigan, yeah. So
Yeah. And you don't even need it because you run so warm.
yeah, I'm pretty hot all the time.
To touch on your sight
it's nice.
unseen thing, I'm thinking back to all my vehicles, and I don't think that would have been a problem with me. And usually, if I'm going to look at a vehicle, if I'm taking money there and I'm taking the day off, because it's never just 20 minutes away,
No.
Yeah.
I'm pretty locked in, you know.
Yeah.
I don't think
Made the
there's been
decision.
many, if any, vehicles that I showed up and be like, nah,
I-
because
I-
I don't look at vehicles that are questionable.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I normally I'm into like the buying a cheap one every now and then, but it's because it fell in your lap type of thing. Now I don't go out trying to find a
Yeah.
good cheap S box. Usually just always try and strive for something that's nice. So I've never been really too burned, but
Well, that, and if you're mechanically apt in any way, like,
yeah, you just know. You
Yeah.
know
Yeah.
if you see that listing.
Mhm.
Uh-huh.
And it just pulls on your heartstrings, and you're pulling through, and you're like, "Oh, I gotta message
Oh,
him."
and
Oh,
And you're
I
like,
gotta
you
go.
know,
that excitement when you're waiting for the first message back, like, yeah, it's available, or
And then, like,
I'm free this
you,
day. You're
you
like,
send the message and you see them read it, and you're like,
Yeah.
what's he gonna do? What's he gonna do? Yeah.
and you're always in your head. You're like, I could go now. It's 2 in the morning, but I'm gonna go right now. Go pick this thing up. And then they're like, yeah, I'm not available for a week, and you're like, I gotta sit and wait a whole new week for a
Well,
new
how
car.
am I
it's-
supposed to impulse buy if I can't do it right now?
that's
Yeah.
always good because it's always like a Monday you find the car. It's not Friday morning,
No.
So
never.
then you're like, well, my schedule this, your schedule that, and it always, maybe the following weekend you go and get it, which is sometimes good because then it gives you 4
A
or
little
5
bit of
days.
clarity,
You
yeah.
sit on that, like,
Yep.
is this
I
a
do-
decision I need to make?
I do have a Tim rule. I have my 24-hour rule. When I find something I want, I make myself wait 24 hours
That's a good
because
rule.
I'm such an impulse buyer.
Yeah, I agree.
Because like I mean honestly I'm always on Facebook Marketplace almost daily.
Marketplace
sure.
is
And
it's toxic.
yeah,
It is
Yep.
literally
But
toxic.
it's getting so bad. Like I don't know what Facebook has done, but Marketplace kind of sucks now. I don't know if you guys have noticed
It's rough, yeah.
But-
you definitely have to pick through a bunch more trash to get to the
Nah,
treasure these
they got
days.
my algorithm so good.
yeah, they got mine figured out.
I can just open the Marketplace app, search nothing,
and it's all
and
right
I can
there.
buy the first 10 items like it's bad.
Pretty much. Yeah, like
Like I could use that. Oh, that's cool. Like the first 5 that they present there are always good. every morning.
Like what Bo was saying, like you got to use the search engine.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And because that gets that freaking algorithm
See,
dialed
mine's all thrown off now because for the longest time it's like, all right, every Cobalt that comes up, here you go. And now it's like, wait, Sobs.
No.
Hold up.
See, mine is 17 by 9 wheels. Like
17 by 9 wheels, 5 by 120.
You know, it'll have like some random cool muscle car. Like it'll have like a 67 Cougar with a Coyote swap. And I'm like, oh my God, I need that.
I
like,
need that right now.
It gets me with the dune rigs. I've never owned a dune rig. I've never searched a dune rig. But like,
I'm sorry. It's probably my fault.
Yeah. It just presents
send us
dune rig after dune rig that I'm like, I need that. But
to use it twice a year.
You know those are from me. Whenever I see these, like, because I know your dune truck that you want. Like, I know the truck you want. And every time I see one, I'm like, send it, Bo.
So I opened my radius the other day, and the marketplace radius that you can
from
set.
100 to whatever.
I noticed it was really tight, and I'm like, let's expand this because I can drive 4 states, so whatever.
Oh yeah.
Holy cow, was that a bad idea? Because now it's like it's a bigger pond to fish.
Oh yeah.
Yep.
And it is killing me this last week, so much so that I tightened it back up. I'm like, I can't be looking at that cool southern stuff. Like it was getting the Southern Ohio like trucks in there.
If you think that's bad, set your location as like somewhere around Tail of the Dragon. And then you get all the nice southern cars, but they're not paint. They're not in Florida, so the paint's still good. Because I lost out on that Saab the other day, and so I went around the country. I went to Denver and Sacramento and like all over looking for other Saab wagons because I was like, I need it right now. I was so prepared to fly out to Massachusetts, but I didn't get it. It was exciting.
You didn't get it?
No.
I did not get it.
Oh man!
If not, or if you did, Tyler and I'd be headed to Massachusetts.
Yeah. So for those listening that aren't in the office, like we always talk like.
Sorry.
I had set my eyes on a 2008 Saab 9.3 wagon with the V6 turbo. It was the Aero.
Vigan.
No.
No, it was a 2.8.
later.
Okay.
But so that V6 turbo is actually the Gen 1 of the ATS-V engine.
Yeah.
You can swap some of the parts. But anyway, so it popped up and it was like pretty much perfect spec, was real good condition, and I was like, all right, I'm gonna bid on this. It's near Boston. My limit's like 5,700, and the day comes. There's it was 20 minutes left, and it was at like $5,000, and I'm like, oh yeah, this could happen. Yeah. But then me and some other guy got in a bidding war, and on Cars and Bids, if you bid within the last minute, it resets to another minute. Mm-hmm. So you can't get sniped at the very end. So I waited until like 2 minutes left, and I put in like 5,200, and then he ran it up all the way to 64, which was still probably a good price for the car.
Yep.
But I had set my limit at 57, and then I went to 62, and I was like, no, I'm out because I sold the LNF, and I wanted to get in it for less than I sold the LNF for. But we'll have another one come through.
You just be patient.
Yeah.
Be patient. Don't let that money just find its way.
It is. My pockets are on fire right now.
I agree so much.
Too bad,
I agree so much. My style is I join the groups.
Mm-hmm.
I join the groups of the car that I want, and I just keep an eye on them.
Yep.
Because there's always one. Most of the cars that come up on the groups are way overpriced.
Oh yeah.
But every once in a while you'll come up with a good deal. Mm-hmm. I've always wanted an FD RX-7.
Yeah.
Oh.
And I joined that group, and every once in a while there's like one where it's like, oh man, like today is the day, like oh crap, like I need this car. But I don't even know if I could like buy it quick enough because like you'll just have the perfect one pop up and it'll be like $30,000, and you're like, well, there it is. Like, let's make this happen right now. But
isn't
you're
that
not
funny
gonna
the rush you get from?
It's so
it's like
exhilarating.
It's like a drug.
It's like you already own the car.
Well, it's like you see
I got plans already.
You see the ad that like touches you, and you send it to your buddies, and they're like, yeah, and you're like, yeah, and then
you're already looking up mods. This was me the other day. I had Mods planned out everything.
8 windows open on your browser.
Yeah.
Intake, downpipe, flooring springs. Like the worst part is though, it like engulfs your soul for 12 hours or 24 hours
Completely.
until it's gone, or
Yep.
like.
But man, is that a great 12 hours?
It is.
It's just the immediate serotonin boost.
Oh,
Of,
it's
like,
so
I'm gonna
real.
get a new toy, and it's gonna be like a whole new. Everything's gonna be different this time. Wrong.
And this is kind of weird, but unless it's a previous smoker's car, that's never a good
Yeah,
time. But
gross.
getting in the car for the first time and it's whatever it smells like, it's just something new, and you're like, yeah. I don't know.
Mark IV Jettas.
Well,
crayons.
it's you know, a vehicle, we've talked about it before, it's such a major part of your lifestyle and your life. Like, it's your second largest investment in most cases.
Yep.
So, I mean, for
Yeah.
your heart to be, you know, entangled in an emotional state, it makes sense.
Oh, it does.
Especially when you spend, I mean, dang, I spend more time with my car than I dang dear do my girlfriend every day. Like,
Not wrong.
Not wrong.
weekends or on a weekday.
Oh man.
I love you, Sarah.
Yeah, Sarah's a nice lady.
Lake Odessa to Wyoming and back every day. That's a lot of driving.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, and then if there's even like one thing I gotta stop for, you know, and if it's out of the way at all, it turns into an hour and 10 minutes real quick.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I saw somebody say earlier they're looking at a 09 SS sedan
I
for
saw that too.
$12,000, which
Mm.
you know,
If it's got 30,000 miles on it, it's worth it.
yeah, that's
Realistically, LNF sedans, good shape should be like 10 grand.
Or less.
Yeah,
Yeah, I
10
mean,
grand
you,
or
you
less,
can
yeah.
find them for $6,500 if you're looking. Like,
probably would.
So I was
they're a
thinking-
little whooped if they're 6 grand, but
On the topic of pricing, I was thinking, man, around probably about 5 years ago, if you bought a car, you easily could have put, you know, many miles on it,
Mhm.
and still sell it today for probably a profit.
100%.
Like if
Mhm.
Oh,
you
yeah.
bought a car in the 5 to 6 years ago range, 4 years ago range, you know, pre-COVID even,
Mm-hmm.
and you could have driven it every single day and probably not put a lick of maintenance into it and make money on it today.
Mhm.
Yeah.
And that's where the current market is.
Well, and
yeah.
you know, 7-8 years ago, you could find a lot of running driving cars for $1,000. If you needed to pick up a
Yeah.
winter beater,
Yeah.
like your car's down, you needed a winter beater, like some old Civic or something, get you through, or a CRV, $1,000, cool. It might be rusty, whatever. That
Gone.
that is now $3,000 minimum.
Yeah, you might get $1,000 for a roller.
Yeah.
No motor, no trans,
Yeah.
nothing.
So when I
grand.
was younger, my dad he owned a business where everybody was coming through for it was a quick lube and oil car wash. So customers were always coming through with old cars, and they'd come through. Hey, I'm getting ready to sell this. He'd be
Yeah.
like, oh, how much you
Yeah,
want?
yeah.
So he would come home with like a $300 or $400 car every other month,
Mhm.
and it'd just be something.
Yep.
It might be a van. It might be a Cutlass. It might be just anything in between. And that's just kind of what my whole childhood was. Is we were just always driving random stuff, and
Yeah.
you know he'd lend it to a family member if they needed a car or whatnot. But those days of the $500 cars
Oh,
gone.
like you can't find a set of winter tires for $500, let alone a whole
I
car.
got that LeSabre in March.
Ooh.
That was like $300.
There you
It-
go.
It is certainly a $300 Sabre though.
Hey, it runs. AC works.
AC? Woo!
Does anything else?
Certainly doesn't.
Brakes do now.
the brakes work now. That's funny.
Yeah. It was just I couldn't imagine if Marketplace had $500 bomb fines.
Oh yeah. Well, I mean, I personally I've lucked out pretty well in the last few years. Blue LSJ was $1,500. Had
Mhm.
skip timing, that was it. Before that, our Black Ion was $400.
Yeah.
It needed an axle and a control arm and a sunroof, but that was it. That HHR I bought the other year, that was $2,000. Just needed an intercooler. The purple LNF I just sold was $2,000. That just needed a trans. But obviously, our situation is a lot different because
Yeah.
I could rebuild pretty much an entire Cobalt out of my garage.
Mhm.
I have spare transmissions. We have these things and the ability to do them.
Mhm.
So, it's a lot different. But I mean, now, yeah. Adam Project just said 07 Redline for $8K. 100,000 miles. That was a $2,000 car for years and years and years.
Yeah, and we don't mean to complain about the pricing too much because obviously we want to see all of our platform cars maintain their value, as we continue to want to mod them.
But it's just when you're so used to a certain price point for a vehicle.
Yeah, Grand Prix. You cannot buy a Grand Prix right now that's worth buying for less than $6,000.
Yeah.
Which that's kind of crazy.
I kid you not. If I wouldn't even let you buy a Grand Prix unless you were spending 6 to 7.
It's either $2,500 for like Keith's daughter's one.
Yep.
That had 260K and it's rusty, and then you've got a nice one, which like the one you showed me the other day that was $8,000, and it's like But if you want one, that's the one to get. Yeah. You just gotta.
Well, that was even the caveat for my Buick was they were like, it's got a 0299 and we can't get rid of it. And I was like, boy, do I have the solution for that.
A Z04.
Yeah. But like any 1.4 person that's listening, if you have a 0299, it's a high percentage. It's the stock turbo. So
98%.
Yeah.
There's so many failures with that stock turbo, like so many different things that are bad.
Mm-hmm.
That you should set a marketplace alert
for
0299. Does it search the descriptions? I don't know. It might.
I think it does search descriptions.
Because you could probably find a lot of cruises and Sonics.
My good friend's looking to get into a cruise because his job just doubled his drive length, and he's looking to get into a cruise. I'm like, sweet dude, I'll let you know what you need.
Eco cruise.
I was like, 50 miles per gallon.
They all leak coolant and oil, so you have to fix that, and they all probably need a turbo. And I'm like, it doesn't matter. Like everyone.
Yeah, no, this one's clean. It doesn't matter.
So he sends me one with just over 300K on it for $800. I'm like, go buy it.
Yeah.
And he's like, really? It doesn't scare you? I'm like, it needs the same thing as a 100,000 mile one.
Yeah.
It could have 30,000 miles on it. It's gonna need these things, so it doesn't matter.
You're gonna replace a couple things with some aluminum instead of plastic, and then you're gonna replace the turbo, and then you'll be good.
Yeah,
because
it's all fun and games from there.
Yeah, we're taking the Long down to Virginia at the end of this month. Like I have no qualms with like doing coolant neck, thermostat, turbo.
Oh yeah,
taking it on a trip.
Easy. And everyone complains about the 1.4s being everyone in the general public that you see on Facebook complains about the 1.4s being this. Oh, it's such a trash engine. Well, yeah, because they all overheat because they leak all their coolant out, and then everyone at the dealership is like, "Oh, I get 94 of these a day," and you're like,
"Well, it's just I feel like everybody reads the internet and they just parrot what they see on the internet.
Yeah,
They're like, you type in 1.4T in YouTube and it's who's the weird old dude that thinks all cars are crap?
Oh, the crazy guy.
Yeah, the crazy guy. Exactly.
Yeah,
him.
I don't know his name.
I don't know his name either.
Scotty Kilmer?
Yes,
Kilmer. That's
Scotty
what it is.
Kilmer. That dude
and he's like, "This is the worst car ever," and I'm like, "Well, we just made 600." Yeah, he's like this all the time. Exactly. But you type it in, and on YouTube, it's the first video that pops up. Even on our video the other day, some guy said, "Oh, the 1.4 is a terrible engine," and I was like, "Dude, what rock do you live under?" Like, if you've watched any of our podcasts, like our Sonic, the Drag Sonic's on a stock block.
That's
making
piston rods. Yeah,
that's what's really interesting is because the 3800 is known. Like, you ask anybody, it's a good engine. Yeah. Good engine.
Yeah.
Great engine.
Your grandma knows that it's a good engine because she had one in her Buick.
Exactly.
Speaking of,
to be honest, it has the same amount of coolant issues as a 1.4.
Yeah. The gaskets.
Or worse, you gotta actually take the engine apart to fix the coolant issues. Yeah. But nobody scoffs at that.
Nope.
But the 1.4 breaks a little plastic piece on the outside. They're like, garbage.
That car's crap, and I'm like, it's plastic bolted to metal. Dude. What do you want?
The maintenance parts are so cheap to bring that thing totally up to date.
Like literally, coolant neck, thermostat, aluminum reservoir,
and a lower radiator hose.
It's actually freaking me out how comparable the 3800 is, because it has plastic coolant elbows that you need to do. It has a water pump that you need to do, and then you have to do the intake gaskets.
Yeah.
Wow, that's weird. GM.
You just messed me up.
Man,
I mean,
there's a trend in the GM platform.
You buy any 1.4.
Ford does it a lot too, though.
Yeah,
that's true.
You buy any 1.4 powered car, and bare minimum, $100. I mean, thermostat, coolant, outlet, and you're in pretty good shape.
Yeah.
You might need a reservoir, but then if you want to go just a little further, you do the PCV kit, fix that system,
The water pump's really common.
Yeah.
and then you're good.
They
Like
work.
$500.
Yeah. The water pumps work a long time in not good condition, but
Oh yeah.
we've lit everybody gets one here, a brand new AC Delco water pump, and we've never pulled a good one off.
Oh,
Yeah.
the one that was on the Sonic. Oh, I bought that Sonic too for like $1,200. The one that I pulled off that car, the blades were about half the size that
Yeah.
they needed
Yeah.
to be.
That's
And
funny.
I'm like, where did all of this go?
You're like,
Well,
in
if they
the
don't
radiator.
start leaking externally, you can normally reach down and on the 1.4 and grab the water pump, and if the pulley's got any play in it,
Oh, and then
anyway,
it starts bad.
Yeah.
Yeah.
pretty much.
Yep.
Anywho, we got on the 1.4 soapbox for
Yeah.
every time,
Every time.
every time.
Sorry, guys.
It's a good engine. We were very passionate about it.
Yeah.
It's
I mean, if I snag that 3800 I'm looking at, I might be on the 3800 soapbox in a couple months.
they're real good.
I need one.
They're so
I need
good.
to have one.
You know,
I mean,
my-
it's so many liters.
It's
There's
Yeah.
so
big.
many liters, man. Like, it is a car. Like, I can't stress this enough. It is a car that you could daily drive and get like darn near 30 miles to the gallon
Mhm.
and run 11s at the track that weekend.
Man.
What car can you do that with?
See you, Brad. Nice to have you.
Goodbye.
My problem with the 3800 is it doesn't come in anything that is really my style. Like the closest
The
is
two-door Grand Prix is the
the
closest.
two-door
Yeah.
Grand Prix is the closest.
My
Now
problem
a Regal
is
GS could
that
be a good
65E.
option.
What about like
I
a
can't.
Buick LSX or LSS or something?
LSS.
Yeah,
Like the 88?
yeah, like a
Oldsmobile, you mean?
like yeah, like that thing. That thing is that thing is pretty sweet. It's Gen 2. It's a Series 2 3800. It's
getting the
old
marketplace
enough. It's old enough.
Hey Siri,
Let's see.
search for.
So you bring up
It's
the
a pretty cool
65E. It's not scary.
I know, but I think it's again.
I think that's
I'm a
one
victim
of
of,
those.
parroting information.
Yeah.
Where I see somebody, Bo yoinks his 65 once a year, and I'm like,
I have not yanked to the 65 since I've known you. And that's a long time.
That's true.
Hmm?
That's fair.
I
So-
did do an engine.
I
Or
did do
two.
an engine.
So
But
what
that's all
year
self-inflicted.
Olds 88 do I
I'm
need?
not a good example. Don't,
Like a
don't do what I do.
97, 96,
What
97.
about this Oldsmobile Tornado? That thing looks kind of cool.
Yeah, you don't need any Tornado of
Look at
89.
Oh,
I think
yeah,
that's
you don't
front wheel
want
drive,
that.
isn't it?
That's kind of neat.
Yeah, it's a bad time.
Tyler, I have the two-door black coupe you need right now with 60,000 original miles on it, an
Yeah.
hour from the shop.
It's $8,000.
Sorry. They're
My
not.
marketplace has a
$8,000
$3,000 cap.
$8,000. He knows what he has.
Yeah, well,
Um,
I'm sure it's a really nice car.
The problem is they're not making any more of them.
Yeah.
And they're not making any more
I
of
would
them.
100% do a 3800 swap Fiero.
You say that, and
You're
you
the-
drive one, and they try to murder you.
You're the only one that will fit in one.
Yeah,
That is
it's great.
Like
I think all the 3800s are too boaty for Tyler. All of them.
a Fiero, like a Fiero. Like I gotta say,
Not
If
after
you're-
driving his Buick.
Mm.
Really?
That Buick is, yeah. That I mean, I was already like, oh, 3800 would be cool, and then I drove the Moose, and I'm like,
It's like driving a couch.
Yeah, that was my problem. I drove Tim's ATS-V, and I was like, well, I'm going to sell everything I own.
I would never drive that car. I would not drive that car.
yeah, Stephen Hickey, a PAU. That's what.
Yeah, that's what
Randy
I'm
wants
actually
to
looking
pick
at.
up.
I just dialed in on the Regal because it's still W body, which is very important if you want to make stuff happen on the street.
Mhm.
And the build quality is so much above a Grand Prix. There's no rattles. It's just
Yeah.
a better overall package.
Mhm.
When you sit in it, it doesn't feel as bad as a Grand Prix.
Now you just
I
need,
love Grand
I
Prix.
see less rotted rockers.
Yeah, they're a little better. They're a little
Mm.
better.
Yeah.
You still they can't be gone through many winters. I mean, if it hasn't been stored in the last 10 years, you don't want it.
Yeah,
Well,
they're a little rough.
And that's the problem and why they're $8,000 because some old guy has literally cherished this since he bought it new
oh yeah.
Yeah.
and isn't going to give it to you for nothing.
No, yeah.
or that's about the only way to get one. I mean, there's nobody out there who has driven a Grand Prix every day of its life, and you don't want that.
No, because they're all like this, and the
Yeah.
taillights are leaking, and
Stephen Hickey's speaking the language here.
yeah.
Yep.
Yeah,
Park Ave's.
Park. I can't get with the Park Avenue. However, I can get with its cousin, which is the Bonneville.
Yeah. An SSEI.
I love a Bonneville.
You do.
So,
Like-
the best thing I can say about a Bonneville is it rivals the Regal really well in build quality. I would say it's nicer.
Oh, definitely.
It's bigger and it's nicer, and it's kind of like a Grand Prix in a Buick had a little baby.
Mm-hmm.
And because it's a big body, comfortable, high quality build car, but it's Pontiac everywhere. So you got the red and you got the
The
gauges.
sportiness.
Yeah, you
And
see.
Yeah.
It's sporty.
The SSEIs just looked so cool.
Yeah.
I loved
Yeah.
them.
I mean, I rode in Sarah's, yours, whatever, the purple LS4 car y'all have.
That's a Grand Prix.
Oh, that Grand Prix was
Yeah.
very nice on the inside.
Oh yeah, it's
It
an
was
04
like-
plus GXP.
It was like comfortable,
Except
and
for the
making
door handles.
I
noises.
flip and love that car.
It's a good car.
Yep.
So
that's a good car.
To this day, my dad worked at GM for 32 years. His favorite company car he ever had was his Bonneville. Like, he still
believe it.
talks about it, and he's like, "Yeah, man, that 3800 that was a
So-
good engine."
Shout outs to one of our local customers, Ethan. He came in with a Bonneville SLE, and he wanted us to do some basic mods to it, and we basically put it out on the lips. And I was like, brother, you don't want to put any money into this car.
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
And
his first one.
yep, and I think he inherited it from his grandma or something. I was like, best thing you can do, post this on Craigslist right now for $3,000 and go find an SSEI that you really need to put money into. I kid you not, the dude comes back a month later with the nicest
SSEI.
SSEI I have ever seen. He's like, let's go. And I'm like, yes. And I ran the car home once on a tune sesh, and I'm like, I don't need to drive this car anymore because this is really nice. It's really nice. And I think he only paid, or in the under $5,000 range for a nice SSEI.
Mm-hmm.
So
And that tri-coat white.
they're nice.
Oh man,
Yeah,
don't get me started. You're pushing
Yep.
my buttons over here.
Look,
Tim
send
loves his Trico,
send
yeah.
any white SSEI to Tim over here.
Yeah, yeah.
He needs one. He needs to relive his youth and
How fun would that be?
build series, baby.
I'm here for it.
So Tim, you literally you're on the verge of a new platform car anyway. Maybe
Yeah.
we just
Just rub bumpers with the Buick.
Yep.
Just rubbing
two
bumpers.
3800s on track.
Always been aching for a rival.
If you had
Like-
the Bonneville behind the Moose at Grattan on an autocross day,
It would be so good.
Whoa.
as there's like Miatas and RSXs and all this, and you're like, big buddy, wide buddy.
If two were to
Wide
do
track
it-
attack, baby.
Oh Jesus.
I'm
But
gonna
yeah.
come back to that. Go ahead, Tim.
But yeah, like there are certain years of Bonneville and that tri-coat, like man, if I see the right tri-coat white
Oh, I
gold
know.
/ SS or SSEI or SLE, I don't even care.
Yeah, because
Like, I don't
The
even
late
care.
model SLEs were.
Yes.
there's nothing wrong with getting an SLE because you get the 329 gears stock.
Yep.
You get the L36, which has the better compression.
Mm-hmm.
You just got to put a turbo and a blower on it, and it's gonna be super happy.
Yeah, I'm fine with like a full blower build like I did already before with the SLEI or the SSEI or turbo it.
Yeah. Turbo it.
It's fine.
Yeah.
It
Plus,
would be a lot of
insurance
fun.
is cheaper because it's not the.
It's a 4-door sedan.
Yeah.
What is insurance? Like $15 a month? Like
Pretty much, probably.
My insurance
Ooh,
ain't that
Gordon
great.
Gordon Barclay has a hot take. The Monte Carlo was the worst body style of 3800 ever produced, and I 100% will say no.
Yep. I think you
What?
might need a Monty more than you think.
I would love a Monte.
Ah.
Those taillights?
Okay. I could see you in the mind.
I could be
Griffin Brangers.
Yeah, especially Griffins.
I want you to send in your ride for us to rate because it's
That is
fire.
a good Monte Carlo.
That's a
Gordon,
good Monty.
I'm with you, man.
I
The
also
Monte
have,
Carlo,
like,
that rear end is terrible.
Yeah.
Yeah, the trunk taillight situation, and especially when they updated to the 7th gen and they kept it exactly the same at the back, and the front was so cool.
Yeah.
Like the front of a Monte Carlo SS 2006, whatever it was, looked great. It had the LNF style grill, mint.
The problem is, this is just like a Regal. Nobody's ever done it right.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
You know, nobody's ever took a Monte, put a legit 9 or 10 inch wide wheel on it, made it 3 inches lower, and made it work.
Oh yeah.
Because as soon as you saw that, you'd be like, "Oh my gosh, I need a Monte." I'd be like, "I need a Monte." You know, it's I'm on my 3800 soapbox.
Yep. We could all do it pretty much for an hour every day.
every day, yeah.
Yeah, especially just the heritage behind the freaking
he's talking
Dale
about-
Jr. edition.
talking about heritage. I'll skip this because
Like, you go out and you turn the key on your Dale Earnhardt edition Monte Carlo and drive
Hell
that to
yeah.
work on a Friday. You tell me that's not a good day.
So if you agree with Gordon, what would you say is the next worst? Because I can't imagine that they're
Park Avenue.
Yeah, Park Abs.
Yeah.
Rivy.
Ooh,
Ooh.
Riv.
Nope, I semi-respect the Riviera. It's a weird, it's
Oh.
an extremely weird but ahead of its time car.
It was ahead of its time. It had a lot of creature comforts.
but it
that-
looked terrible.
It did
Awful.
look terrible. I know.
You're telling me that looks better than a PAU
Or a Monte Carlo.
or a Monte Carlo? Ain't no stinking way.
They're
interior.
so pointy.
the interior of the
weird.
Riviera. Like, come on.
I
like,
don't. It's the outside of the car that's the problem, Timothy. Not.
Fisker Karma.
Tim loves Fisker Karmas,
Which had an LMF.
which had an LNF.
Mike, don't you talk bad about a Fisker Karma.
Oh shit!
Oh, he loves those cars.
I
And
love
the solar
Fiskers.
panels on the roof that did nothing. That
They could
provided
charge a
12
12
volts
volt battery.
to the battery.
Yeah.
Yeah. Anywho.
Yeah, the Geo Tracker and the Chevy Aveo were not the same 1.4 as the LUV LUJ.
No.
Even the 1.4 NA in the Spark is a totally different engine family. So,
Yep.
Nope on that.
Sorry.
But Jeff Gordon Monte Carlo with the blue and the yellow and
No.
Why would you
I'm
have
gonna
a
say
Jeff Gordon
no.
one when you could have a Dale Earnhardt one?
You got-
Exactly.
You gotta have a Dale one.
There's a Tony Stewart one in between that's even better than that.
Yeah.
Ugh.
It's,
Orange.
it's all orange?
It's not all orange. It's
It's
all
black with-
black with
yeah.
an orange stripe down the
Oh,
rocker.
God.
I
It's
think
pretty
I've
sharp.
seen it.
It
yeah.
hurts me.
What's
Hurts
even
me.
funnier is the gauge cluster. The gauge cluster, all the mile an hour and all the RPM stuff is in the font of his number 20 number.
Oh, that's hilarious.
And it's orange.
Of course it is.
Yeah.
Oh yes, the Oldsmobile Aurora, the
North
late,
Star one.
the late model
The
North Star
the
ones.
updated front end.
Oh my gosh, I wanted one of those for
Yeah.
so long.
yeah.
And they also had a great tri-coat white.
Yep.
There was that the weird purpley color that they came in. I liked those too. The early model Auroras, trash. They looked like
big old long boat things.
oh yeah.
Mhm.
But the late model ones,
My
I could get down.
and
with
when
that.
we were in high school, my best friend his dad had an Aurora that he cherished. You know, black
Yeah.
North Star. Like what an old guy in the would cherish. So
A black
we-
North Star? Weird.
we would get out of school 2 hours before he got out of work, and
Uh-huh.
the Aurora would be in the garage. And he's
Mhm.
like, I don't even know if we had our licenses. Thinking back on this, he's like, you want to run the Aurora down the road and back?
You're
I'm like, boy, do
damn
I?
Skippy, yeah.
So we'd start it up. We'd pull out in the road, and we would literally do neutral drops up and down the road.
Oh, God.
I
Oh,
would.
just
I mean,
cold-
I'm passionate.
Cold engine, put it on the chip.
Yep.
Just, dun, 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 bah!
And we'd run all the way down the road, hit like 120 miles an hour, turn back, put it in the garage, and shut it off. Never told him. Never told him.
Oh, now he knows.
Yep.
Uh,
It's not a big deal if he knows now.
Yeah.
The car's long gone.
That poor car.
You can still be disowned. You can still be disowned at 30-something years old.
Well, it's got the 4T80 in it. It didn't care at all.
It
Yeah.
did. why GM, especially back to the Bonneville thing, the last gen Bonnevilles had the North Star instead of the LS4, but they got the 4T80.
Yep.
Why they decided to put the 80 with the North Star but not the 3800?
I
don't
know, man. I know.
Yeah, it's either or with GM. They're like good engine, bad trans.
Yeah.
Bad trans, good
great
engine.
Yeah.
There's
So
no.
true.
Yeah.
Those people in their engineering department just don't communicate.
Yeah. All right, we got 18 minutes left. Mike, should we start the rides now, or do we got a couple minutes more?
I think you boys should talk about used cars for 5 more minutes.
All right,
All right.
5 more minutes about used cars.
That's it.
All right.
So what was it like back
Best-
in the day?
Tim,
I miss
how was it?
Craigslist. Honestly,
I do miss Craigslist as well.
Craigslist was
Yeah.
the biggest thing that was personal about or nice about Craigslist was a little more personal. You either emailed the person
Or called them.
or
Yeah.
called them, and there wasn't any just 100 is this availables.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it was just like I feel like pictures and descriptions were better because now everybody just takes their Snapchat photos, loads it into
yeah.
Marketplace, and then just writes like
Probably
3 words.
diagonally.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Definitely like
Yep.
this and not have the entire car.
When back in the day on Craigslist, you got the camera out.
Oh, yeah. You got the
You
got
took
the Nikon out
pictures.
and
You put the SD card in the computer. You loaded the pictures into Craigslist. You
Yeah.
sat there. You typed out a paragraph.
Now on Marketplace, it's like, hey, if you want more information, like here's my TikTok, and you're like, I don't want to follow your.
How do
stupid
I even
TikTok.
message on TikTok?
Like, I don't want to.
I don't
watch
have
your
a TikTok.
Stupid dancing to get to your
Here's-
car.
To go along with what Randy said, like, who the F sells a car by having a video of donuts?
Yeah.
Like,
Baby,
people are
one
doing
owner,
donuts in a
baby.
parking lot. And it's like, I am not going to buy your car now.
Yeah.
Bill Kish newspaper. I remember. So
Classifieds.
Was that in the circular? Is that what that was? In?
Oh, man.
Do you guys remember the you could get it? Oh, man.
Bargain corner?
Auto Trader.
No. I'm thinking of the one that used to be at the grocery stores, and it was like the real crappy newspaper paper.
Yeah, it was.
Yeah.
It was,
Super
thin, it was
thick.
like half ply,
Yeah.
but it was like this thick, half
Yeah.
ply stuff.
I said Auto Trader. Nobody.
Was it
picked up.
Auto Trader?
I don't know.
It might have been Auto
Sounds
Trader.
like Auto Trader.
The
I
white
gotta
Ford
look it up.
truck that I still drive to this day. I remember the day my dad was flipping through Auto Trader, and he sits up. He's like, "Oh,
Did those come out every week?
weekly,
I think
monthly?"
so.
I think it was weekly. Yeah.
And he shows me it, and it's just literally one side shot.
Wasn't it like
97
car?
Ford.
Wasn't it like Car Trader and like
Oh, yeah.
Truck Trader and?
Auto Trader. Yep.
That's it.
Yep.
Yep.
Because there was like a
Auto
Car
Trader, that's
Trader
what it
and a
was.
Truck
Yeah,
Trader.
because
like,
they split eventually.
Mhm.
Mhm.
And I remember, like 14 years old, every time I'd go to Kroger, I'd grab one of those and I'd flip
Man.
through, and I'd be like, "Where's an Eclipse?
It's
I
just
need
like-
Eclipse."
Going back to Craigslist, I bought my Focus. I had a SVT Focus. I
Mhm.
bought it off of Craigslist, and it was just like 3 sentences. It was like, Focus SVT, performance parts, phone number, basically. And I was like, okay. And I show up, and it's a 2.3 built Duratec with a 6266 on it, and I'm like,
Yeah, a couple performance parts.
yeah,
No
like
big
you
deal.
couldn't put any of this, and it was like $4,000 at the
Mhm.
time.
Yeah.
I can't even
Gordon-
tell you what I would do for a $4,000 car like that.
I
Gordon
know.
with the GLH.
Ooh.
Oh man, what a great car!
There's a super
Ooh,
mint
Omnis are
Omni
sick.
on Bring a Trailer right now, and it's got like 4 days left, and it's at like $28,000 or something.
Every
crazy.
time I see one, I send it to Steve Hickman because you
Of
know
course you
Steve
do.
Oh, yeah.
needs to own that car,
Yep.
and I will make him own one of those cars someday. Such an awesome
Don't make
car.
fun of me for flannel. It's too hot. It's like 55 degrees.
It
here.
is a nice day.
It's
but
too
these-
warm.
these guys-
It is 46.
These guys are showing me up with their flannels. You got
Yeah.
some
I
fancy
don't
flannels.
have the flannel game because I just got here.
That's
I'm
true.
not
It's-
from a, I'm
you're
not
not
from a
wrong.
state.
It's a
that-
Midwestern. You're born
I'm starting
with
to
it,
call
you know?
soda pop now, so I'm getting into the
Yeah,
culture.
that's true.
Yeah.
88 Lancer Shelby. Oh yeah,
Those are fun.
those are
Ooh.
cool too.
That was almost my first car.
All right, so
Hmm.
since we got a couple minutes before the rides, go around best and worst used car that you've purchased.
Ooh.
I'll start.
Yep.
My Jeep My Jeep
As
XJ
best-
Grand Cherokee.
Best or worst?
Best.
Okay.
That was the best. I bought that Jeep,
Your white one?
my white one,
Oh, that was a good Jeep.
for $1,600. I sold that Jeep for $8,000.
Talk about it. Come up.
And I put
Jeez.
not bad.
50,000 of the roughest miles a
Man.
Jeep has ever seen on it.
Straight up relate.
Yep.
Straight up.
Yep.
So that was my best, and I let go of it at the right time because
Oh, yeah,
it
you
was
did.
I would love to keep it forever, but it was still a Jeep and it still had its issue. My worst, I don't really have many worsts.
No?
It's all been good.
It's been pretty good. I actually love the HHR that I got a pretty good deal on too.
Yeah.
That's not bad.
Until it blew the transmission last week.
Yeah, they do that.
Well,
you'll be back on the
45
road.
E
It's all right.
things.
Just don't rebuild that one.
I'll go best worst. Best had to have been my Focus pickup.
Yeah.
Yeah.
$4,000 for a built motor, relatively big turbo
Yep.
car. I couldn't have asked for more. I mean, the AC was deleted, but besides that car was a freaking ripper. And worst would have to be very little known fact. I owned a Talon. I owned a TSI Talon for like 2 weeks.
Better watch what you're gonna say now.
It had a
Hold
three,
me
it
back,
had a
Bo.
3 bolt in it, and it crank walked pretty much immediately.
Ooh.
Like it had, back in the day, HX35s were like the thing to do on 4G
Yes, they were.
cars. I had a HX35 on it, and literally the second time I took it out to, do Mexico things with friends, the crank was like, "I'm gonna go this way, 8 mm," and I was like, "Whoop!" This was a dumb car.
My worst one might have been your damn Saturn.
You got a pretty good deal on that.
I know, but then I did a lot of stuff right after it. No, I'm kidding. I just had to say that. I actually daily almost missed that car. So
Yeah.
That was
Fast Saturns
our
are
dang
so much
mechanic came over and basically beat me with a baseball bat and bribed me over everything to take it home that night. And I'm like, fine. And then
Yep.
I'm like, all right, he's a good guy. He's gonna take care of it forever.
fun. Wrong.
And he didn't.
he did repaint the sides, so
He did.
had that.
I
And,
would've-
and then it went to some random dude who took the turbo kit off and anyway.
Actually, that's the best thing that ever happened to that car is taking that turbo off because it was too fast and hurt everything
Oh
in
my
the
gosh,
drive
it was
line
so-
daily.
So much fun.
I think my best is probably my Sonic.
Yep.
Yep.
I bought it for like $3,500. It was a car that was really taken care of by the first owner of it,
Mhm.
and then the second owner was a greaseball mechanic.
Ah.
So it was a super clean car with like greaseball fingerprints on everything.
Mm-hmm.
So it's like all you do is wipe all the greaseball fingerprints off of it, and it's like a nice car again. And it ended up going from like a car that needed a transmission to the second highest wheel horsepower, 1.4.
Yeah.
Yep.
So like I would say that's my best.
Yeah,
My
it's been a
worst-
really good car for you.
My worst is probably my my Honda thing that I had. What was
Oh,
it,
your MDX.
yeah,
Your Acura.
Acura.
Yeah,
The
my
Dude Finder?
MDX. Like that thing was full
The
terrible.
dude.
I've got a buddy in Texas, and I go to
Reggie.
visit him, and I'll just like buy a car and drive it home. So I fly to Texas and I buy something and I drive it home. And I was trying to buy a Trans Am,
Mm-hmm.
The
an
Trans Am.
orange
Oh,
WS6
Oh,
T-top,
That is
6-speed.
That is
I got
the
a
one.
soft spot for WS6.
WS6.
Yeah,
Oh my
that's a good one.
goodness.
I'm there. I send the guy a message and he's like responding. I get there and he stops responding, and I'm like, oh crap. So I'm like, I better start looking up some backup cars,
Yeah.
right? So I'm looking up some backup cars, and like my buddy and I, we go and look at a couple, and they don't work out. But I look at the MDX, RDX, I don't even remember what it was, but I go and look at it and I pass on it, and I ended up having to come back to it because I need a vehicle to get me
Get
back
home,
to Michigan,
yeah.
right? It's all-wheel drive, it's turbo, it's a nice vehicle, but like a very cheaply made
Mm-hmm.
crappy vehicle.
Yeah.
And I'm like, you know what? I'm going to buy it just to get me back to Michigan. I'll sell it, whatever. So I drive it back to Michigan as a winter beater. But here's the funny part is on my way back to Michigan, the WS6 guy calls me.
Oh no!
And he was like, "Hey, sorry, I was out of town, doing
Yeah.
whatever. If you want to come see the car, it's available." And I'm like, "Well,
That's the worst.
well." It was a sunburst orange
Oh
Yep.
man.
6-speed WS6.
That is the one.
Yeah,
Like,
Yep.
that is the one.
yeah.
Dang.
So
That's
I think
unfortunate.
That's probably
That-
the worst thing I've heard today.
Yeah.
the Honda
Definitely.
was fine. It was fine.
It's
I
fine.
sold it for a profit.
But it
I
wasn't
drove
a
it through a
WS6.
winter
It wasn't
heater,
an orange WS6.
but it wasn't a WS6 sunburst orange
Certainly
T-top
wasn't.
6-speed Trans Am.
Man.
Dang.
Those
What's your
cars
best?
just have a presence, man.
Best?
They're so good.
Best is tough. I want to say my first blue Cobalt. It was just a good car. Rest in peace.
R.I.P.
Yeah.
baby.
It wasn't really that rusty.
What blue was it?
Arrival blue, the better one.
Not the Imperial Blue.
No,
metallic.
not.
Granted, the new one looks good and cleaned up. Don't you, Tom?
Yeah, it does look
it
good
does.
cleaned up.
She's a
So
good car.
I'd probably
Got
say
the heart
that
of the blue, old blue in her.
the
Literally.
the second would have to be the base model because
Because you've had it forever.
yeah, I've had it forever and it got me started here, so
Mm-hmm.
that's a thing. Worst,
Yeah, after I talked about mine, I would say my Grand Prix is the best because it did get me.
yeah, worst has to be my Focus. Was a gigantic pile of garbage.
Was it a single cam? Was it
No,
the split port?
it had the Duratec.
The Duratec? Really?
It
Oh,
had the
surprising.
Duratec, and it didn't have a tack. It didn't. It did. The paint was atrocious, but I was
Yeah.
driving my Colorado at the time, and I needed something better in gas mileage. And
Then a Colorado.
yeah, well,
You had a 5-cylinder though, didn't you?
yeah,
Yeah.
should have never sold that car.
Sure.
Anyway, Mike, let's get to some rides. I gotta get out of here.
Rate some rides.
Ooh, 6 minutes.
That was
Yeah.
a long 5 minutes.
That was.
Sorry, guys.
That's all right.
Yeah, you got to know us, Mike. We were ready for those rides.
All right. We're going to start. We got nothing but threes today.
All right.
We're gonna
Couple
start
threes.
with Brendan Ham.
Brendan Ham.
Going ham.
Oh yeah, I remember this one.
Ooh.
All right.
I kind,
white
I
ATS?
kind of like it. A 3 though?
A 3.
Sick. The only thing I can see from here is just paint the whole hood or even just the sides of it to match
Well-
that grill line up with the window. Because
Mhm.
it's got the black
Yeah.
roof going.
The
Yeah.
car's wrapped.
But it, oh.
Yeah.
Really?
It looks wrapped.
Yeah, it's a matte
so
white.
It's like
It's
a matte
white, yeah.
satin white,
Looks
Oh, yeah,
aggressive
you're
though, brother.
Mhm.
and it looks like that carbon fiber hood.
Yep.
So I
Oh,
understand
yeah.
it.
It's good
That's
grill.
legit.
Got the nice lip. Got
Mhm.
some Forge stars. Got the I think those are the 6 pistons on the front. They might be the 4s. I like the Stormtrooper vibe that you got here. I've never noticed that though. Because the hood slopes so far over,
Yeah.
you would want to wrap that.
If he just
To
wraps
match
the
that body
side,
line,
because
yeah.
then the grill runs right up the body line into
Mhm.
the window, and then he's got the black roof, so it would flow real nice
Yeah.
with like 6 inches of vinyl down that hood.
Yeah,
Yep.
I've never realized that, but
I
yeah,
agree.
That's
I
the
would
move.
agree.
That's the move.
The car's real good. It's widely known here. I'm a Ford Star hater.
So am I.
It's not imaginative. I don't like those wheels. I really don't like any of those wheels, honestly. But
Yep.
Yeah.
the rest of the car,
I don't like black wheels. But
yeah, they look like wheels you haven't.
However, I am also a Forge Star hater. I hate everything Forge Star makes, but those are like a genuine wheel,
Yep.
and like
Yeah.
and I love the white car with the gold/copper
Yeah,
caliper.
yeah, that's
That's
always
a
a
great
good
combo.
color combo.
I like that it's a carbon hood and he left it exposed. If it was me, I would probably add a little bit of wrap to the hood to like kind of bring it together.
Killed
But,
the
um,
fitment though.
That's
Yeah.
it's
Yeah.
the fitment's great.
Yep.
yeah, hit us
He's
with
got
some
the
more
wing.
photos, Mike.
He's got the wing. You know, he's got the
Got
trim
that
rack.
cat back?
ZZP cat back.
Yeah,
Best cat
No,
back
it
on the
sounds
market.
good.
You know it. Love it.
that's
it's,
And you didn't black the taillights. Thank you, sir.
Yeah, I really don't like blacked out taillights.
I would
That's
You
put-
could hit the
I would
reflectors on the
put
bottom.
one shade of nightshade on them.
Does it look cheap?
Yep.
I feel like it always looks cheap.
one
I would
layer.
put one
Yeah.
coat of nightshade, then some clear.
I used to be about the nightshade like when I was a
Mhm.
child.
Yeah.
But now I'm like tint to your lights to make them work worse? Why?
But
I don't know.
I don't know why everybody hates red.
one coat of nightshade does not decrease the overall.
It does by a percentage.
I
Don't lie to yourself.
It has to.
I
Yeah.
wouldn't nightshade him because I hate that nightshade is like a matte color.
That's
But
why
you
you got to
can
clear
you can
over
clear
it.
them though.
But like a clear with like a little bit of black mixed in to just smoke it a tiny bit.
Yep.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I'm in there.
I do. Is this? I don't know what year this is because I'm not a
13,
Cadillac
14.
guy. But is that an updated rear badge, or do they come with a nicer badge in the rear?
that's an updated one.
Okay.
Yep.
I
Yeah,
like the
'cause
badge.
those had the crest, which
Yep.
is very Cadillac DeVille.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, we promised them 3, so we're gonna move along to the engine pick. This is a juicy one.
Oh wow.
Whoa.
That's a spicy boy.
What manifold is that?
Some sort of ram's horn.
Yeah, it's not a.
That's cool.
We don't think he made it.
I don't know.
I don't know.
I
That's
haven't
legit.
Well,
a
somebody
lot of
had to
turbo.
make it.
seen. Yeah, I
don't
haven't
know
seen
nothing-
anybody.
I don't know nothing about this guy.
There's nobody who
Interesting.
makes a
A
tubular
ram horn style
LTG, so somebody custom fab that. That's pretty sweet.
That's cool.
That's a badass car.
Yeah,
Very cool. I bet that thing.
black valve cover, black front cover, like that looks good.
Yeah.
Yep.
Does it make some jam? Brandon Ham, if you're on here, let us know.
That looks like a big turbo. That looks like it has a potential to make
Got some hood
jam.
pins in the corner there.
Yeah,
Mhm.
probably a I don't know, 6266.
We all look ridiculous because every time stuff pops up, we're all like,
Don't worry, these are all full screens. We can see you.
Yeah.
What you see is what they
oh,
see.
okay, fantastic. It's like because I can't
No
see
complaints.
a stinking thing.
Yeah, not
Yeah.
at all.
Yeah, the engine bay is great.
I'd probably just, honestly, just super petty. I'd take the stickers off, but
Yeah,
Yeah, I'm not a sticker boy either, so.
and I see your green. I see your green filter peeking.
Yeah,
But
yeah,
I mean,
it's probably like a
what
Oni-
a pesty thing on that engine bay. That is a lot of work and time right there.
yeah,
Man, it's so
Yep.
crazy how busy that LTG engine bay
It's a good
still
car.
is.
still is. Yep,
Looks like a good car.
good car. All right, Mike, next one.
Next
All
one.
right, next is Christian Rodriguez.
Rodriguez.
Another 3.
Let's see what we got here.
Oh my goodness,
Ooh.
that is so much wheel, but it works.
Those have to be 18s on a coupe.
Yeah,
Because that's a lot of.
It's crazy how an 18 looks like a donk.
Right? But you put 18s on a sedan and they look
Man, I like
pretty
it.
normal.
That is sick, dude.
that is
I have
really
one qualm
clean.
so far. Please get rid of those headlights.
Yeah, you got to get the black housing headlights.
Black housings at least, probably some retrofits.
What do we think about don't lose sight from the front bumper cover?
I don't do stickers on paint. It hurts me physically.
I don't.
With you.
I don't hate it. It's
not
fine.
terrible.
It's fine.
Brakes are good though.
Yeah.
More pictures. Next
Yeah.
picture.
Alright.
That's a
I like the
good-looking
black
car.
mirror a lot.
Yeah, the black mirror on the red does look
Mhm.
really good.
Equally as nice.
Okay, cool.
Okay.
Nice
Got
and
the
OEM plus. I like that.
This is a 3, boys.
got
All
the
right,
HHR style.
when you take a black ice out or put a black ice in, you take a black ice out.
Yeah.
You don't-
Yeah,
you don't
don't-
stack them, boys.
And
but
I see that you have
That's
no
what I was waiting for.
you have no problem spending money where you need to.
But the-
Formats are cheap.
Yeah, the clutch pedal hole.
WeatherTech will.
Personally, I don't like the black trim in the Cobalt. It makes it too
Flat
uni-
and just
yeah,
flat.
I painted my fair share of interior trim many times. Just stick with the silver.
Yep.
Just stick with the silver, or the G5 trim looks nice.
Yeah, the G5 trim's
The
good.
the fake carbon,
I'm
or
not
get
gonna
some
lie.
real carbon.
Maybe I'm old, but I like the black trim.
Yeah.
I'm not in for silver. I either color match. I'm a minimalist, so it's like I either have to color match it to the car, which you can't do red on the interior.
No,
you
no.
cannot. So it's like either gloss black or like match it with something else. But
You
that's
should,
it. That's all he's got.
Tell that to Chevrolet with the red door cards then, because
Yeah.
Yeah.
Huge,
That's
huge,
true.
huge points on the radio there, buddy.
yeah, I like the
Yeah.
radio
Yeah.
background. That's
The
cool.
radio, he's got a nice shift boot. I think
Yeah.
he's got GMPP pedals.
Yeah,
Yeah, it looks like
saw
which
those
that.
is
pedal
pretty
covers.
baller.
and Aero Forces or an Aero Force, which
Yeah.
is always a positive.
Yeah,
in
looks
there.
good. What do we got for the
And
third
one
one?
you've been waiting for.
Okay.
Perfect.
Okay,
Yep.
so he's
Looks like fun.
Yep.
either got
Blow
to
through big turbo. Looks like it's fast as hell.
paint the valve cover. Although is it polished? I can't
It's
tell.
just
I don't
clean.
think
Just
so.
clean.
I think it's just
Just-
probably
just
cleaned
clean.
up
Yeah.
casting.
I
Very-
think
That looks
a
nice.
nice wrinkle black
Yeah.
valve cover with a smooth intake manifold would
Yeah,
wrap
I
the
like it.
intake-
I
the
like it a
underhood.
lot when people clean up L&F intake manifolds.
Yeah.
They look real good.
Still, though, I can really respect how simple he left it. I mean, and you look at like all the caps; they're all clean.
Mm-hmm.
Like,
Yep.
Yeah, the
brake
plastics are all nice and
Oh,
clean.
Looks like he's
Yeah.
got some
That
good,
thing,
decent
that thing
coilovers.
looks like a highway raper. I'm sorry.
Oh yeah.
I'm sorry. Like that thing
Yeah.
is just ready to murder
Yeah,
everything
that
on
would
the
mess
highway
up
from a
somebody's
roll.
day. Yeah.
Poor brother tried our strut brace and saw it didn't fit, but
Yeah.
still got the brackets on there.
Uh-huh. Certainly did.
Well,
Yep, our Cobalt strut brace does not fit an L&F due to the charge pipe and intake.
Mm.
all right. Who do we got next?
Next.
Up next, you might know this guy, Ryan Laja.
Blaja.
Let's see.
Tim, you might know this car.
Might know
man.
this car.
I'm
This
nervous.
is another 3. I will say we did not get an engine pick,
Yeah,
but
Ah,
we know what it looks like.
Ah,
There's
So-
the old stallion.
I'm gonna start it off with blah blah. That looks like regular ass traffic.
no.
No, I'm just kidding. The wheels are really good. I like the wheels a lot.
Why are the
Wheels are
tires
great.
so big?
It's
I-
because he doesn't know how to spec tires.
They're like Bo Cobb's old Bridgestones.
so
One or two sidewalls.
he's not
too large.
wrong. The tires are too big. I used to be this guy. I like it. It looks good. It's just a different look, but
Yeah.
yeah, the tires are too big.
Tires are too big. Car needs a little bit lower. He has coilovers on the car, and I'm like, Ryan.
Yep, that front needs to match the back.
Yep.
yeah. Lower the front.
Did he
Um,
did he build the headlights? Or you?
No.
It came with those.
They're just polished up and nicer now.
Are those the good ones?
Yeah, those
Yeah,
are the,
those
those are the good ones. Fortunately, that car came with the black housings. I love that Ryan did the black lowers.
Yeah, that
to
looks
match the
great.
headlights.
He also got tulips and color matched them. The lowers.
I
on
love
the
the
front, so-
side marker
Mm-hmm.
is red.
Ooh,
Looks
yeah.
great. It blends it right
Instead
in.
of
I'm
the
sure
orange.
it lights up the right color.
I remember
Ryan
seeing-
made his own grill. So
He
that
did?
grill insert, like he made
Yeah,
that.
and the
That's
hood
cool.
vents.
Hood
Hood
and
vents as
also,
well.
I don't know. He probably doesn't have pictures of it, but he makes a like a buttress for the top. You know, the little plastic ones in the back that always
Oh
destroy
yeah,
themselves.
yeah.
He makes CNC aluminum ones, which are
They
pretty
look,
dope.
yeah, they
He
do
did,
look really
he did
cool.
the perfect move too, and painted the windshield trim.
Oh, yep,
Yep.
that's it's
Yep.
wrapped, but yeah,
Same.
Same.
Sorry, I
Yep.
painted
Get
my
rid of-
Big
wrong.
Yeah.
upgrade. When I
Getting
had it,
rid
it was
of-
silver and it looked terrible.
Getting rid of all of the silver or chrome on a Kappa is the best thing you can do,
Yeah,
Mhm.
for sure.
or any car.
Yeah,
Yeah,
as much as
really,
we can
most
hate on
cars.
the tires, it's kind of cool.
Yeah, like if he goes down one profile on the tires and lowers it like an inch all around, for
Uh-huh.
inch in the back, probably inch and a half, inch and 3/4 in the front.
Yep.
That would be.
Legit.
But
Perfect
at least he's
picture.
got some Michelin's.
He does have PS4S's, I believe.
That's a good
so
tire.
Those are pretty good tires.
Cool.
Yep.
Yep.
Mhm.
Yeah, I remember. So, are my eyes playing with me? Are those white wheels?
They
They
are
are
white. Yes.
Yep. I remember when he was even on the stock wheels and those were white. We pulled in a Tail of the Dragon and I was like, "That's
Yeah.
cool. That's cool."
He's got to do the black taillight mod.
Has
Yeah.
to. Yeah.
Got to. Even though
It's a lot of
the-
work.
Even
is
though
a
the
lot of
wheel
work,
kind of
yeah.
goes with it a little bit, like the taillight's got to be blacked out.
380 degrees in the oven for about 8 minutes. They'll pop right open.
Nice medium rare.
I didn't even go that much. It was like 250 degrees for like 10 minutes and they'll come apart. The problem is that the rim of the clear lens is still silver.
Yeah.
So you'll paint the
Oh,
insert
really?
black. You'll leave the red, the red lens red. You'll paint the silver black, and then you still have like a 1/4-inch ring around the whole thing that you'll have to address. But once you address that, man, holy crap, does it look so much better.
Yep.
Good car.
For anyone who doesn't know, this is Tim's old car.
It is. Yep.
It did not look this
It did
good.
not look like this.
He did a great job.
Certainly did not.
Good.
Yeah.
All right, final picture. Side shot.
Yep.
Nice.
Yep.
Yeah.
Maybe
Yeah,
we
it's
should-
just I stand
This-
by the just lower it and smaller profile tires.
a little-
Still
And
think
race
front needs to
seats.
go lower.
a little tint ski.
Whole different
A little
animal.
tint.
Front
Now that
definitely
I-
needs to go.
Ryan,
Needs a,
race
needs
seats,
a little rake.
race seats and a race steering wheel will change your life in that car.
Oh,
Yeah.
those stock
change
seats are trash.
your life.
Yeah,
They're
and
designed
if
for
you
old,
put
fat
good
dudes.
seats in it, Ryan, I can sit in it now. Because with stock seats,
No.
Don't fit.
I'm not gonna fit in that. I drove it at Tail of the Dragon 3 years ago, whatever it was. And I was like, I can't see a damn thing.
Yep.
I can't see anything that's
Looking right
happening.
at that bar.
Yep.
I
Can't
had
see anything.
I had Sparko Evos in mind. Don't get the large, just the Sparko Evos
Yep.
fit great and they add a lot of room.
Mm-hmm.
You'll have to move the seat forward
Yeah.
to sit in it, which is great.
Oh wow.
Ryan did what we
That's
all have
surprising.
done to our other car friends before. Hey, there's a weird sound in this car. Can you drive it and give me your opinion? And I was like, I can't because I have to focus on not being able to see anything.
You're like
I am sorry.
the whole time.
Yep, exactly.
All
Yep,
right.
good car.
Good car.
Like it.
I'm gonna call this one early, boys, because I gotta get to East Lansing in an hour and 13 minutes, and
Well, what are you doing this weekend, Tyler?
I'm going to a Michigan State game, and then hopefully nothing the rest of the weekend. That sounds great. What about you guys? Quick fire.
Yep. Nothing.
All
I'm
right.
hoping nothing.
Good.
F1.
Yes.
F1.
Oh yeah, Las Vegas.
Yeah, you gonna stay up?
Probably not. Realistically, I'm too old
It's
for
gonna be
that.
too low. Too late.
Nothing.
Got-
nothing worth mentioning.
Got the
honestly.
hot tub
Chill
fired
weekend.
back up. Got
Woo!
the filters changed out a few times. We were ready to rock on the hot tub
Oh,
for the
I'm
season.
going over.
There
I'm
you
going
go.
over to Tim's house.
Woo! Yep.
Party at Tim's.
Party at Tim's.
We just need a TV out by the hot tub and we'll be good.
Yeah.
Yeah, you do.
I'll bring over the projector. We'll just put it on the roof or something.
There
There
you
we
go.
go.
All right.
Anyway,
Thanks everyone for joining. We'll catch you next week for number 140. We gotta go. See ya. Bye.
Goodbye.
Okay, it's over.
Tyler was like, I gotta leave.
Fuck you, Randy. I don't know what you're doing.